I went down to the crimson river, left my burdens on the shore. I went down a sinner, came up a saint, died with Christ, now I'm reborn.
Yes, he washed me in his mercy. He cleansed me with his blood. Now I stand complete. I have been set free. I found life there in the blood. Not the same. I am changed, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. By His grace, I am saved. His child forever I am. Not the same. I am changed, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. By His grace, I am saved. His child forever I am. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. Now I found the living water from that well that won't run dry. All the pains of life have been satisfied by the precious blood of Christ. Oh, not the same. I've been changed, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. By His grace, I am saved. I'm His child forever I am. Not the same. I've been changed, redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. By His grace, I am saved. His child forever I am. Hallelujah. 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 Redeemed by the blood of
Blessings out looking for me. I'm not out there looking for blessing. Blessings out looking for me. Double dose, double dose, double dose of the Holy Ghost. Double dose, double dose, double dose of the Holy Ghost. Double dose, double dose, double dose of the Holy Ghost.
Hey. I just realized the music just ended. That was awesome. How's everybody doing? Well, welcome to River Roundtable. We have special guests here today, and she doesn't give a rip.
Yeah, I don't give a rip.
Yeah.
This is the best shirt ever. Sweatshirt.
The Don't Give a Rip Fellowship.
Yes. So you need
So
my one.
we have Miss Jen here from Beloved Cheesecake. She's forever going to be known as the Cheesecake Lady. That's just,
Yeah.
it's just going to be
I
that
know.
way.
Jen of
Also,
Cheesecakes.
Mr. Joel,
AKA Cheesecake Lady. Got it.
taking
And I'm
the
trying to
place
put
of
this on my Instagram, so I'm not ignoring you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
taking the place of Captain Andrew.
The River Round Table, right?
How are you ladies back there? Doing well? Doing good?
Hanging in there.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't talking to you. That's okay. It's all good.
Yep, that's okay.
Yeah.
She's a lady too.
Yes, she is a lady.
Yep.
All right.
Maybe.
Oh, good. What are good?
You might not know. I
Join
have
Beloved
a pair.
Cheesecakes in the River Roundtable.
That's what the back of the shirt says. You know, I do have a pair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've gotten a lot of grief
Pair of
about
cheesecakes?
that also.
Maybe more than one or two. Who
Well,
knows?
welcome to River Round the Table, and we're going to be talking about some current events and things that are going on and things that are happening actually even around the world and the things that are going on. Oh, look at there. Thank you, Rebecca. Home with COVID. Oh, we're going to be praying for you.
Oh,
We're going to be praying for you.
Yes.
You're going to be praying for that flu symptom.
yes, and take
Hallelujah.
lots of supplements.
Yeah, we actually have supplements here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You have quercetin and vitamin D.
Yeah, we have all of this
Good.
stuff right here. We have the 4-day pack.
Nice.
Bring me one of those 4-day packs, please, and I'll show everybody what we have here.
That's awesome.
And yeah, we'll be praying for you. No sound? Are we good with sound online? Yeah, we have sound, Ashley.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Turn down your phone.
Yeah. Turn down my phone.
Take care of your bodies during this time. I mean,
Yes,
honestly,
always.
try. I'm a big proponent of getting rid of sugars out of your life. Even if you are, a big bone person, getting rid of sugars will actually help you. And so we have these little packets right here.
Oh, that's
4-day
cool.
immune boosting supplement packs, and
That is really
yeah,
awesome.
with how to take them and everything else.
Can you open it up and see what's in there?
Well, now with the,
It says so.
yeah,
They are not sealed.
they're not
They're
sealed.
not sealed. That is so cool.
Yeah, I don't know how to
It
open
looks
it.
like
but-
it's got vitamin C. Well, I do. I'm not
So all of those are to help you
Yep.
stay healthy, and we actually have those at our coffee shop.
So we have vitamin C,
Yep,
vitamin A,
yep,
vitamin D,
yep.
and zinc. Perfect. That is awesome.
Yeah, and it's an immune booster for 4 days. Drink about a gallon of water a day. Honestly,
This is so
with that.
Always should drink water. Lots
I'm
of
trying
water.
to post this on Instagram. Not ignoring you guys.
So, anyways, we have those at our bookstore, so you can just come into the River Church and we'll get those for you.
Yeah, we
And,
talk and work all the time.
Okay, good.
Sounds like I'm doing
This is This is
QVC
the
ad.
most informal podcast ever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It should
Is
be.
it a podcast or it's a
Yes,
YouTube?
it's a
so
YouTube,
what is
YouTube,
it?
So we have those-
podcast,
we have
whatever
those.
we call it.
Yeah, I mean, what it is we want to be informative as much as possible and help out people in wherever they are in their life and expose some things that are not out there, like the mask mandate removal.
In Malala.
Well, let's
Yeah.
talk about that. Why don't you talk about
Start that
Malala
one.
while I look
Start
up
that
something
one, Jen.
here?
That
Okay,
one's
Start
great.
that
well,
one.
I just shared it on Instagram, so we'll see. So I'll start with Silverton. Should I start there?
Mm-hmm.
My hometown is Silverton, Oregon.
What are we doing? What are we doing in Silverton?
We are having a freedom rally in Silverton on February 26th, and everyone needs to come.
Yes.
It starts at noon at, let's see, I have the address here, 812 McLean Street in Silverton, and we're going to have horses, and some of the youth are going to be speaking. We have Beth Jones, who's going to be speaking, and Austin, who came back from the military.
Yes.
Yes.
He's going to be speaking.
Good.
I'm really excited about that. But in Silverton, there's this group, SHS, which is Silverton High School for Freedom. So SHS for Freedom on Instagram. And two organizers, young senior girls, they started with walking out, doing rally. I don't know if you call it a rally, but a walkout. And then they did a walk-in without masks, and then they were asked to leave. And then the following week, they did a march. And so a lot of the parents and supporters of, freedom of choice and for our youth, we all stood behind them and marched with them to the high school. It was peaceful. It was beautiful.
It was a good walk. Yeah,
It was
I was
really,
there.
Yeah, it was a good walk. You filmed it, took pictures. And anyways, it's just really sad to see what is happening in Silverton. They put the school on complete lockdown.
Yeah.
All the blinds were closed. They had 6 officers. It was just absolutely insane because we're a big threat, And but it was very peaceful. Nothing happened. The kids went in. They got masks going in, and then they took them off at the cafeteria. And then from there, what happened after that? I'm trying to think because it's been a whirlwind. They ended up having to go into a theater room and be by themselves. And the next day, and then the allegations came out. Kids were saying that there were lies on social media saying that kids were pulling other kids' masks off and that our kids were saying effing sheep, and it's so not true. Thankfully, we have it all recorded.
Yep.
And then the next day, the freedom fighting kids went back, and they were made to sit and do their work outside in 35-degree weather with one heater. The school was trying to be accommodating.
So,
Yeah.
like a little tiny heater, you know?
Yeah,
with a
I
little-
have a picture of it.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
here, just
oh,
outdoor. Heating
outdoor.
Oregon.
Yeah,
Heating
20,
Oregon, outdoors.
25
Wonderful.
kids. And
Jeez.
so then the group did, there was a letter from the principal that Friday, and here's the picture. I don't know if you can see
Can you
it.
send it? Can you send it to her?
I could send it. How do you?
Oh, yeah, that's just a little tiny
Yeah, a little
vertical
tiny.
heater, probably
Send it to you,
1,500 watts or
Christina?
so. Yeah.
Okay.
Max effective range on that thing, like 1 inch
And
outdoors.
yeah. So they were outside in the cold, and then the next day they were accommodated, they were put into the gym, but they're completely excluded and discriminated against. And then the principal wrote.
So they were ghettoized.
Yeah, totally ghettoized. That's
Yeah.
exactly it.
Yeah.
And then that night, the principal wrote saying that if the kids come back, that they're going to be considered absent, that they can't accommodate them. So the SHS for Freedom had posted a picture of a teacher who had no mask on, or had it under her chin, not properly wearing it right. And she's one that harasses the kids tremendously about wearing, your mask properly and whatnot. And
Yeah, there was a teacher or admin person there
yes,
that Wednesday.
yeah,
in the morning,
there was.
watching.
Yes,
No
with
mask.
no mask. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
I have the photo.
Yes, I know you do. And yeah, and after that, it was awful because then when you play their game and do what they do, they can be hypocrisy and they can do the hypocritical thing. But if you post and expose their hypocrisy, then you're being exploitive and abusive. And so that was the email that came out from the superintendent that the SHS for Freedom was being exploitive and abusive. And so they took down that picture, which I really wish they wouldn't have. But anyway,
okay, we
so
have
that's,
more.
that's Silverton. And then there was the board meeting Monday night. And basically what they figured out is they're just going to make masks optional come March 31st. I don't trust it at
No,
all.
I wouldn't trust it
I
either.
think it's smoke and mirrors, to be honest. But Malala, which is
Town right down the road.
10 miles north
Oh,
of
yeah.
Silverton, country town, is known for the Malala Rodeo, Buckaroo.
Yeah.
They had a walkout on
By the way,
Wednesday.
I think she has the picture also of Silverton of them.
Oh yeah, do you have that? Okay. But Malala had a walkout on Wednesday, and last night they had their school board meeting. So I mean, just a day walkout, and then they had their school board meeting last night. They have a mayor that's also for freedom of choice as well. That helps. Silverton does not. Just my little tidbit there. But
Good to know
last
your
night
mayor.
it was really awesome because I got a message from. I gotta find it here. I got a message from one of the substitute teachers, and she said, Malala School District ended the mask and COVID vaccine mandates tonight. Awesome meeting. The people and kids spoke and democracy reigned. They have to honor a 2-week situation with teachers, but on March 3rd, no more masks. They are willing to risk losing funds from the state. Let freedom reign.
Come on.
And that
You don't
is
need
just
your
the
fun-
best news
You,
ever.
you don't need your funds from the state, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, you don't.
I mean, already the boosters have to pay for the sports and everything else. So
Yep.
why not the parents just take control of the school?
Yep.
That's really what should be happening anyways. It
Yeah.
should be the parents taking control of the school and determining what is going to happen in the school and not. This is how that is. You have that picture now? So here's the picture of Silverton of the kids.
Yeah,
being
outside, 35-degree weather.
having-
That's a
yeah,
lot of heater right there.
That's
There's
their heat
pictures of
source.
their hands. I have pictures of their hands. Oh yeah, it is awful.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out
But,
how
you
to
know,
show
it's
the
for
way.
the welfare of the student. Let's put them out in the cold where they really will get sick.
Yep.
You know, it's just it's stupid.
Yep.
So
I'm
concerning...
sure the school is
Yeah,
perfectly willing to take on that liability.
Oh, Lord. Well, anyways, I have, you know, when we talk about this mask thing being released on the 31st, just so you know, it's all smoke and mirrors. Because OHA passed a permanent law, mask law, that they can invoke masks at any time.
Yep.
So if it's actually being removed, then why did they have to get that passed before they said they were going to remove it? And why
of
are we
course.
the last state to remove mask mandates?
Well, we certainly wouldn't want to be the first.
Yeah, well, I know why. Because our
But yeah.
governor is 50 out of 50, so she drove the shot.
Yeah.
first
She is the
straw.
least popular governor in state.
Yeah,
Yes.
in
Yes.
the United States.
Well,
I
she
think the
likes this
only
award.
person, the only person less popular than her right now is probably Justin Trudeau.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
But that's an incredibly low bar.
Yeah. So I got an email from one of the state workers that says earlier this month we received emails from this person and that person. I can't name people. Human Resources has received additional communications that wanted to share and clarify. Effective immediately, those with approved exemptions to the COVID-19 vaccine may wear either a K95 or an N95. KN or an N. We recognize there be some confusion as to previous shared. This would not be effective on this, but it talks about how if you're not vaccinated, you're going to have to wear a mask.
Even after March
Yep.
31st.
After March
Yes,
31st.
if you're not vaccinated.
Well, and they're
Yes.
working on the Vax passport in March.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Vax passport's still coming in on March 8th, correct?
Well, I won't be getting one.
I
so
believe.
Who cares?
Yeah.
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 I won't either.
This is true too.
Yeah.
For all of us.
Yeah.
Yay.
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna go. If someone's gonna ask for my vaccine passport, I'm gonna ask if I can pee in their bush out front of their building.
I was going to go with the hepatitis C vaccination, you know, or their hepatitis.
No, I'm just gonna say, I have to go to the
But, you know.
bathroom and I want to use your bath, and they're gonna, do you have the vaccine? And then they're gonna say no, and I go, then I'm gonna use your bush and pee here then.
I had one customer asked me if I've had my vaccine, and I said, well, I don't usually share that information with strangers. I said, have you had your pap smear this year? And she says, yes. And I said, do you have STDs? And she was just like, no. But I was so shocked.
That she
you
was
know?
giving out even the information.
Yeah, it's like,
Let me
hello?
freely share everything about my life.
Yeah, I said, when did we ever share our private personal information with strangers? I'm not sharing with you.
yes.
Yeah.
Who are you and why should I tell you that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything is set up here, and there's got to be a change of the guard. It has to happen. There has to be a change in the state and all of that. I try to get my wife on here because she has all these wonderful comments that she throws on every time we have a show.
She's doing her
Yeah.
backseat preaching.
Yeah, she's
from
doing her backseat
Yes.
preaching from
Yes.
here. Hey, Stacey Ann, good to hear from you. Yes, I'll do whatever I can to be on the show with you. Just to answer that, so I don't forget later.
Yes.
But anyways, concerning what is happening here, it's all smoke and mirrors. You got all the stuff that is going on because you can't have what's happening. Isn't it strange? Okay, let's talk about Trudeau for a second. Isn't it
Yes.
strange that right after visiting Obama, or not Obama, Biden, that all of a sudden he goes up and changes all of these things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you mean they're like testing the waters or something?
What? So if you don't think it's going to come, because one of the things that people don't know is that so they come in with the executive order where he comes in and says state of emergency for the whole nation, and they don't have the same constitution. It's a parliamentary procedure.
Yes.
So things are a little bit different, but they do have some of the most solid religious freedoms in the world, actually, in Canada, as well as freedom of speech as well. They have all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. They have the Charter of Rights.
That's correct. It's a little bit different.
Yep.
So anyways, in him doing that, what happened is now the banks have total
Yes.
autonomy over everybody's accounts.
Yep.
If you say, I like semi-trucks, they can seize your account.
Yeah, financial terrorists is what
Yeah.
they're calling us.
Yes.
And if you give
they
to
have
them,
actually talked about.
No, you don't even
I
have to
forget
give
the
to 'em.
guy. It was like,
Oh, really?
if there are Canadians out there who are pro-Trump,
Yep,
they could have their bank account seized.
that's correct. Anything,
What?
any perception, all they have to do is have
Yep.
a perception. All you'd have to say is I like semi trucks, or I like farmers, or any of those things. They can seize the account of the people.
Yeah, there's no due process. There's no jury. There's no nothing. There's not a warrant. There's nothing involved. It is simply
The bank.
the decision made by either the government or the bank
Yeah.
to take your money.
So,
Period.
have you heard a story? Has this happened?
Would there have been accounts seized so far?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well, that's coming here if things don't change.
Well, absolutely, and also right now there is, and this is the rumor that I've heard. Okay, yes, there is camp meeting, John. I'll talk about that in a second. We didn't even do announcements, but it is what it is. We'll do it at the end. That way you can hang in there and hear what's going on.
Yeah.
But anyways, one of the things that is there's this thing that's going through the state right now in Oregon that the war on the church has just started, and it's going to have to do with taxes, and it's going to have to do with, because they're trying to find everything they can to remove the tax exemption from 501c3, of which we at the River Church are not 501c3. For all of you that have all these opinions about us online, but yet you don't even listen to anything I say. I tell you all the time, we're not 501c3. They're going, you need to have your 501c3 removed. Well, you idiot. You don't even listen. So anyways.
Yeah, there were comments like that last night.
Yeah.
By people who should know better.
Yeah.
Bill Post.
Yes, Bill Post. You don't even know what you're talking about. We're not a 501c3 church. So there you go. And on top of that, are you ready for this? I pay taxes. And I am the church. The church is not the building. The church is, now the organizations may be 501c3, but people are the church, and people pay taxes. So don't tell me the church doesn't pay taxes, because every person inside the building pays taxes. So therefore, the church does pay taxes. So don't sit there and tell me the church doesn't. Let me educate you, because obviously you don't have something that's in between the left ear and the right ear, except for some breeze. Should I tell you how I really feel? No, it's just
Don't hold back.
No, people don't educate themselves. They don't educate themselves. If a church doesn't have to be 501c3, the government invented the 501c3 to control the narrative of politics within the church. What we did here last night as a church service was reminiscent of early days on how church services were run. That they prayed for their leaders, that they prayed for people that are going into office, that they vetted them morally. So they know how to pray for them. They know how to speak into their lives, so that the people can say, I can make a conscious decision based off of what somebody has said, and it is a moral decision. Therefore, the morality should be left up to the church.
Which is the people.
Which is the people. And that's the whole point. The church is not a building. It is not an organization. It is an organism. And if you can't understand that, you are nearsighted and blind. I'm sorry that you listened to your stupid professor at Berkeley that told you something that you should have never learned. I'm sorry that you went to Willamette down here and learned some stupid thing that doesn't even matter. And listening to some guy up there that talks about history, and he thinks he's a politician, but he's not. He doesn't understand anything that has to do with American history because he's afraid of offending somebody.
Yep.
How was that?
No, it's great. And then one thing that you say a lot that is awesome,
I just get sick of it, because everything's available for you to learn.
Yes.
I didn't learn everything that I learned because I went to school. Actually, I went and I self-educated myself on things, and I looked into things, and I listened to other people that are smarter than I am, that are moral.
Yep. Amen. Well, then also what you say too that I love, and I've shared this with people, is the church people or the building? It's people. Is government people or the building? You know, and it's people. So you can't separate them.
You can't separate church and
state. And then you have people say, "Oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way."
What?
Yes.
Well, this is my church half, and this is my state half.
You can't do that. Yeah, you can't. You
Is that
can't
how
do
that
it.
works?
When we talk about government is set up to protect the conscience of people.
Yeah.
That was never meant to tell you and dictate to you what you should and should not believe. That's why CRT is wrong. That's why all of these things are wrong, because they're telling you what you should believe.
Oh,
It's an
yeah.
indoctrination of what you should believe. And people go, well, that's what church does. Actually, that is not what church does. Church presents to you an option.
Yep.
You have an option whether to believe in this or not believe in it. That's the beauty about God himself. God himself set it up to where you have a will.
Yes.
And you can choose to believe in him or not, but he still loves you the same.
And he doesn't force you.
And he doesn't force you into believing in
Yep.
him.
Yeah.
Religion does that. Religion in itself, by its dynamics,
Controls.
controls
The dogma
of
and the dogma of it,
Mm-hmm.
does that, indoctrinates, but not a relationship with a living God who loves you. He did not, when I was sitting on that park bench ready to commit suicide, he didn't say, when you get your life back together, come and see me.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. He said, I
Yeah.
love you. I love you, Jack.
He shows
Yes.
up when you need him,
Yeah.
Yes.
and when you don't need him, he just
Yeah.
shows up.
And actually, I wasn't even
Yeah.
praying. I wasn't even praying
Yes, yes.
and saying,
Mm-hmm.
God, I need help. I was at the end of everything, and I was going to kill myself. And he showed up and said, I still love you.
Yep.
And that's all I wanted, was to be loved.
Yep.
So all of this garbage, I can't stand all of this garbage. And that's why I hate everything that's going on around to control, manipulate. When you're reading on the side of the bus that if you don't wear a mask, you're going to kill your grandma. That's indoctrination.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
That is designed to create the fear in you,
That is correct.
and fear creates a much more compliant person
Yes.
to control.
Yep. It's so true.
Yeah. So we can't have that. So anyways, and that's the reason, like I was saying, had they not touched the church, I don't know how involved I'd be. Had
Yeah.
they not tried to shut down your business.
Oh yeah. I
yeah.
would not be
Yeah.
involved.
They made a mistake.
Had,
Yeah,
had,
they
had I
did.
not the ability to do math.
Yeah. No, it's so true. Well, and just think about what's happening in
I love you, Joel. If I didn't know how to do math, I wouldn't be involved.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
not
you
heard
were
that one
talking
yet.
about
Yes.
in Canada that I had said that I had heard that they're threatening to kill the truckers'
Dogs.
Dogs.
And
Yeah.
so then you were saying that could take it to a whole nother level, because an animal is looked upon as
Animals are innocents.
Yeah, so
Yes.
in some ways it's almost I mean, like, they touched the church. That was a good thing. They went after my business. That was a good thing. You go after the dogs, watch out.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Game on.
Yeah.
We'll go full John Wick. Don't go after the dogs. It's bad. It's really bad.
No, it is, but that's what I mean, because this whole time it's what is it going to take for people to see these freedoms being stripped? What is it going to take for people to wake up? And you have to go after their security, their comfortability, whatever it is. Right now, there's still that idol of lifestyle, that idolism of
Oh,
materialism.
yeah. Everything's still very comfortable
Everything's
and going
fine.
on. You know,
Yeah.
the conversation in Canada, especially around the truckers, is not about COVID anymore.
Right.
No, it's not.
Okay, it's about compliance.
Yeah.
The entire conversation
Yes.
is do as you're told.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And the original issue was that so truckers that weren't vaccinated would have to, if they crossed the U.S. border, would have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Right.
Then if they crossed back, they would have to quarantine
Yep.
for 2 weeks. No one who is a trucker like that could make a living doing that.
Right.
They literally ruled out their way of life, and so it's like, okay, now I'm going to go after your bank account.
Yep.
You've already destroyed my life.
Yep.
What else do you want
Right.
at this point?
Well, it's
Okay.
the same thing with the mask,
So,
Joel.
yes.
It's the exact same thing. It's not about COVID anymore. You
No.
don't even hear it. It's about
No.
keeping the mask on the kids, and the control. It's not.
Yeah, well,
you're not
but-
hearing about COVID.
Let me ask you. So I know somebody that was an RN, and they it's in another state. They just added onto the hospital a pediatric stroke department.
Yes.
Yep.
Did you know that? Why do you need a pediatric stroke team?
No, and they just came
Never.
up with the first medication last June. Did you know this? For kids with infants, stroke medicine for infants. You knew that was coming. I mean,
But
you
why?
could see.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah. Why? Imagine that.
Yeah, we're
Gets
going
very
to
quiet.
let the silence speak for
Yeah,
itself.
I mean, honestly,
Okay.
They don't care. It has to do with eugenics, and it has to do with the global reset. That's what all this is for. They want everything shut down so that they can say we need to reset it. We need to incorporate the United States because obviously the Constitution isn't working. So we're going to incorporate the United States. That's the reason they want to do the voting rolls the way they do, so that it is underneath one party and one party only.
Yep.
And then they can get away. They can get rid of the Constitution. They can do corporate papers underneath the UN.
So
Tell me if I'm wrong anywhere.
No, so far.
And
tracking.
then as a corporation, they can dictate what you can and cannot do, and they will. It's called 2030 agenda.
Yeah, which was
You're going
Agenda
to rent.
21.
Yeah, it was 2021. Yeah, but they blew it. So it's 2030.
So last year.
Yeah, so last year, 2020. Yeah. So now it's 2030 agenda, and so you're going to rent everything from the government, and you're
Yeah.
going to be happy.
Yeah.
You're going to be happy because you're not going to own anything. You won't own property. You won't own your car. You won't own your shoes. You won't own your clothes.
That's called the sharing economy.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And that is what they're wanting to do. You listen to AOC, and AOC is putting out the whole thing of it is time to stop having children because of the climate. And this
Well,
is
she can stop, but,
And, yeah, and I'm gonna lay this out for you. The whole climate thing. So emergency powers is going to be based off of climate.
The climate emergency?
Yes.
I've never heard that before. I've never heard of the climate emergency.
You haven't.
No.
No, I
No.
haven't. I
Really?
mean, I've
Because
heard,
I'm
I know
because
that
I'm
it's gonna go-
56 years old. I've been hearing it since I was 10.
Yeah, but now yeah, well, yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I mean,
Except
well,
for we were going to have an ice age.
yeah, it was
Yes.
going to be an ice
Right,
age,
you
but
know.
but they removed.
then.
They removed that Life magazine, right?
Yes.
The Ice
Yeah.
Age one. It's
No.
you
Don't
can't
worry,
find
I
it.
kept the
You can't
PDF.
find it. You can't find it anywhere.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I'm not the only one who kept the
Yeah.
PDF on that thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
but now it's just
It's
conspiracy.
lovely.
It didn't
Yes.
really happen.
Yeah.
Life magazine denounces it.
Did you know that there's a sign out here on I-5
Yeah.
about the Stop Having Kids?
Yeah.
Have
Yes.
you guys seen
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
I've looked it up too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad. No, they're really
Yeah, no,
like
hey,
seriously.
listen.
They don't want anyone having kids.
No.
Oh.
No, the eugenists are not. They've never been quiet about what they believe.
Oh,
It's
no.
always been
But
out there.
these people who are holding the signs, I just want to say to them, well, you were born. I mean, you're alive, right? Your mom had you, so
Did we lose YouTube?
It's been throttled hard.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. You had to say.
She's like,
agenda.
what?
You
Yeah.
used the word
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
and, trigger words. Trigger words. Agenda. Yeah.
Agenda, vaccine,
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about
AOC.
something.
It's
Let's talk
probably
about
AOC.
something that's safe
probably
to
what.
talk about. You know,
What's that?
Republican gubernatorial candidates.
Oh,
We
yes.
could talk about them
Yeah.
and say anything we want, and you know, we're going to
Well,
get
they
extra
probably
viewers pushed into us. You know,
Yeah.
Russian bots or something probably. but,
Russian
you know,
bots.
You know. Anyway, yes.
Go ahead and hit those like buttons and heart buttons because it throws everything to the top.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah, the more
Yes.
that you do,
While
the
we
more
say
that you
thing,
get there.
You know,
Like and
the
share,
whole
like and share.
like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Don't smash the like button because
did
we
not
don't want
know
you to hurt your
this.
computer,
Yeah.
or phone. Just go ahead and gently caress it. Gently caress that subscribe button. All right.
Yeah,
And then
I
we're going
mean-
to talk about what we did last night here.
was epic.
We had an epic service.
Yep.
Amen.
It was epic.
Okay. We prayed, we sang, we carried on a little bit, and then we had some folks in here that wanted to become leaders in the state,
Yep.
Yep.
and we listened to them talk about it a little bit, and we prayed on what they wanted to do,
Yeah.
and so that we could make a conscious decision to choose an excellent candidate
Yep.
to represent us in the governor's house
Yes.
and for the state. And so, for those of you that don't know, we had Bridget Barton, David Burch, Reed Christensen, Christine Drazen, Mark Hess, Carrie McQuiskin, Brandon Merritt, Bud Pierce, Stan Pulliam, Amber Heard, and Mark Thielman.
Oh, Amber Richardson.
Amber Richardson. I'm sorry. Wow, I can't even read my own writing. Whoa, that's horrible. So
I can't. YouTube's not even playing for me.
yeah. Oh, I still have a little bit of movement here on this thing.
It's like dumped.
It's definitely slowed down
What does
now.
throttle mean? You guys keep saying throttle.
yeah.
I'm like, what does
Yeah.
that
So
mean?
what happens is, just so everybody knows,
before
I'm
we-
going to
yep.
educate everybody real quick on
Okay.
throttling, and then I'm going to get to you. I'm sorry.
No,
I
that's fine.
interrupted.
That's fine. This is good information.
Well, what
I
happens
understand
is
what's
they have an algorithm, and certain words that are spoken, they end up throttling it, and then it goes into a delay so that they can determine whether they are going to punish you according, in other words, called censoring. And so that's what was happening last night, just so you know. That's what was happening last night, is we were starting to get censored. Everything was getting slowed down. Everything was getting thrown out. And the only way that you can solve it is that you have got to restart everything. Well, in the restart, it didn't restart. So that's just how that is.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I'm just going to let everybody know.
Lost
I'm not
connection,
going to
but here's-
apologize for
Yeah.
the internet. I'm not
Yep.
going to apologize for YouTube. I'm not going to. We're not able to do Rumble because of our setup doesn't hook up to Rumble. All right, and so if someone wants to come and show us how we can do multiple platforms with Rumble, that would be fantastic. But we're limited in the knowledge that we have and what we do, and we do what we got with what we have. And so I'm sorry that you have two liberal platforms that we're using online. But that's how it is. We're working on actually having our own platform as a church, but that hasn't gone through yet. So once we have that, you could actually just go to the River website and watch it, but we don't have it yet.
Yep.
So there you go.
So it's a preview of coming attractions.
Yeah, I mean that's
You know?
what that's
Yeah.
what we want to be. We want to be autonomous. I'm hoping someday we can have our own server farm.
I've built 3 data centers.
Yeah,
I kind of understand how that works.
and then that way we're not beholding to anybody.
yes, because
Except
if you
for the
don't
line in and
if
the
you don't
line
own the hardware, you actually don't own the data.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's kind of like 9/10 of the laws.
On Facebook.
Yes. So,
So last night,
last night, was there anything that really jumped out to you guys from any of the candidates? Just like,
I'm a thoughtful processor, so let me think about that for a second.
okay,
well, I'm
about you?
thankful. I'm thankful they showed up, because there were some of them that didn't show up because
Yes.
they knew it was going to be a religious meeting, so they said we're not going to be involved.
yeah,
So I'm that just tells me right now where they're at.
Yeah.
So,
And that, I mean, that was the best part, honestly, is that worship was amazing. Kendrick did amazing and
Good
looked
job, Kendra.
beautiful.
Yep.
Just to have everybody in the same room, and they had to hear God, and they had to, whether they believe or not, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we
this-
have people that haven't been in church probably their whole life, or people that haven't been in
Right.
church in 20 years. People
Yeah.
that said I'll never go back to church again. They were in
Yeah.
church last night.
yeah. We had
And-
about 700 people.
yeah, probably close to
It was
that. Yeah.
standing room,
Standing
and then
room only,
out
yeah.
in the foyer was people.
Yeah, there was
so-
even more out there too.
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Oh my gosh,
the-
it was really amazing.
Yep.
And your
And that's right,
prayer,
Julian. That's right. Not showing up is a helpful message.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is. It is definitely an indicator.
Yeah.
Of what you should take into consideration.
Yes,
I remember
it's
talking to
true.
one candidate about
Yeah.
coming to FBF.
Yeah.
And saying, why don't you come to FBF and share? And they said they didn't have time. I said, you don't have time to talk to 300 businesses?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, no, I don't have time for that. Well, that just tells you they
Yep.
don't have any desire to help businesses.
Yep.
Yeah. So
So there you go.
and those are small businesses.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Yes.
are so it's not the Intels and the Nikes and
No.
the Columbias.
Well, Intel
You know.
moved.
Well, yeah.
Hallelujah.
We could talk about that later too.
No, actually I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
To be
yeah.
honest with you, other than the employment aspect of it, but their politics suck.
Yes. Well, this is true too.
What stood out to you, Joel?
So, the first. So let's talk about David Burch.
Okay.
David Burch is a young man who was running for governor, and he is an amazing person. Okay, he came here without a car, without a phone, without a job,
Without any publication, he's just
without
sitting in-
publication,
Yeah.
just himself. And he climbed up on that stage, and he told us, okay, who he is.
Yeah.
That takes, as you would say, a pair.
Yeah.
is correct.
Yeah, it's so
It
true.
is a huge kudo to him.
Yep.
And we would love to reach out to David and have him join our community and
Absolutely.
be part of us, because I feel like, okay, just speaking for myself, that he should be part of our community, and
Oh,
he should
absolutely.
be. involved with
It
us
takes a lot of
because we
courage.
need folks like David
Yep.
to show up and participate. And I think he is an awesome human being and a
Yes.
great American.
Yes, I agree.
So, and we're getting nods from the whole chorus and everybody.
Yeah.
All right,
And
so
how old is he? He's
David
like
is in his mid-30s, I believe.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
And
so,
then, I mean, he wasn't here last night. Was John Fosdick?
oh, John Fosdick is also in his
he's
mid-30s.
young too, and
Okay.
we heard
And
him
he is-
speak at the Marion County Republicans meeting.
Yes.
And I mean, these young guys, even though they may not have a serious chance at, making it for governor, at least they're putting themselves out there.
The idea
And
is
they're
that
it's the future.
It's the future, exactly.
the idea
Yeah.
is that you have people that don't fit into the narrative that
Yes.
are taking a stand, and
Yes.
actually
Yes.
that's what's going to bring a change. That's
Yes,
one of the things I
totally
love about
agree.
Oregonians. Okay, Oregon is one of the most awesome places there is, because if you go to Florida, right, and everybody goes, it's free Florida, it's politics as usual.
Yep.
Yep.
This place, it's a mixed bag of nuts.
This
you have
is-
no idea what's going to happen here.
Yeah,
and I
this
love
is,
it.
This is the place.
true.
When I was in the Army, we used to have this thing where everybody would jump in this pit, and the idea was to throw out everyone and be the last man standing in it. Okay, and that's Oregon politics.
Yeah.
It is a giant muddy pit where everybody is wrestling their hearts out to be the last one standing.
But you know what we saw
Yeah.
last night?
Yeah.
Amongst all of them that were up there,
Yes.
they actually liked each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could.
And they were
you could
they,
tell.
and they were agreeing with one another,
Yeah.
and
There
they
was
were
a lot of
applauding each
nods
other.
And
And-
a lot of nods.
yeah.
There was even one bow.
I saw
which was
that.
great.
Yeah, well, that was a phenomenal statement he said.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love what he said. He said, if
That was Reed.
yeah,
Yeah.
what did he say
Reed
about you get what you deserve as a president when you get them through the mail.
Yes. Our mail order president.
Our mail order president.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes. Best line of the night by far.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. It was great.
Mail order
The
president.
crowd was roaring.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. We had to pause. The crowd because it was too much laughter. We can't have that. It's too much fun.
Yeah, well, and the thing that
Stodgy
we did last night
Republicans.
is we involved it into a church service, and so
Yeah.
when you
Yep.
do that and you say this is what we believe as a church,
Yep.
this is our religious conscience, and I'm
Yep.
going to tell you right now, you cannot have a third party, and I'm going to make it very clear to those that may be watching. Supreme Court, U.S. Constitution, Oregon Constitution. Third party cannot dictate what your religious conscience is.
Absolutely not.
You cannot tell somebody what they can and cannot believe.
Yep.
Those businesses that
Amen.
fired people with third party people telling them what they can and cannot
The
believe,
lawsuits are going to be
the
epic.
lawsuits are going to be epic. I'm going to warn you right now. And the doctors that have forced people to get the jab underneath the fear because they were pressured into it. The signature on that piece of paper, just so you know, does not mean consent.
Yep.
And you're going to get sued.
Under duress is not consent.
That is correct. I can hold a gun to somebody's head and say, sign the piece of paper, and that means nothing because it was signed underneath duress. And the lawsuits are going to come because there's going to be wrongful death lawsuits. There's going to be all kinds of lawsuits that are going to come up. And it's not going to be Moderna, and it's not going to be Pfizer or the other ones that are going to be sued. It's going to be you.
Yeah.
You're the one that's going to get sued. The governor is not going to get sued. You're going to get sued because you listened to her up on the hill telling you what to do, and you just caved in and complied instead of taking a stand and saying, no, I will not make people do something that they don't want to do. That was your decision that you made, and you went against your own hypocritical oath.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to come back to bite you in the rear end. And I don't know how come I went from that to that, but I'm just talking about what we did last night.
Oh yeah.
And I just went into a whole nother thing.
yeah,
But
because
that's just who I am.
liability is really a thing.
And that is correct because it's all tied in, because what we did last night is that we were saying we're doing something that the church should have already been doing a long time ago.
Amen.
We should be, the church should have already been involved in helping educate people morally on how to help them make decisions morally, and saying, this is what, I don't think people understood how much in the word actually has to do with our leaders.
It has a lot to do with it. I believe Caesar was mentioned a few times in the Bible.
Actually, even Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God what is God's." There is Jesus was actually very. Can I have some fun?
Yes.
Launch.
Did Jesus ever protest?
Yes, he
You better
did.
listen. You better pay attention.
Yes. I mean,
Yes, he
I
did.
think he did.
Would-
And what he protests when he worked on the Sabbath,
What?
Yep.
you know.
What else did he protest? Can anybody tell me what else?
I believe there was some money changers,
And he kicked over the tables.
Yeah.
and
And he caused a scene.
a ruckus even.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And called them brood of
Was
vipers.
he called them brood of vipers?
Vipers?
How about the woman? How about the woman that was caught in adultery? Did he do a protest?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I healed the sick on the Sabbath.
Yep.
Yeah.
Touched the
Protest?
lepers.
Touched lepers. Yes.
Yeah. Touched the lepers.
Touched
What
those with
protest?
COVID. Imagine that.
With the money change, the tax.
Yeah,
Ate
with
with-
the tax
Yes.
collectors and
That's
the
a
sinners.
really, really
Yeah.
bad one. Tax
Protesters. He protested.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
my kind of God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He definitely rocked the boat, except when,
I love
Doing the
boat
thing.
rockers.
doing the thing on the water that
Yeah.
he did, you know?
And also,
yeah.
and so then in the New Testament, okay, underneath the book of Acts, when the church was just birthed, did the
Yeah.
church protest?
Slightly.
It says they met in Solomon's colonnade, and no one dared join them, but nonetheless more and more were added to the number.
Yep.
It was illegal to speak the name of Jesus. The meeting they were having in Solomon's colonnade was an illegal meeting, and they were open-aired meetings in front of everybody to see everything that was going on.
And for how long did that happen?
It happened for 5 years.
Yeah. So it wasn't like just a weekend thing and they were
No.
done. Yeah.
Right.
No, and
Yeah.
it says they met together in each other's homes and they broke bread with one another, but they always came back together into the big group and met in the big group.
In a peaceful protest.
Were they arrested for their protest? Yes.
Yes.
Were they put to death for their protest? Yes.
Who did the first jailbreak?
God himself.
Yes.
I mean, he broke them out of jail because they were protesting. So when you say the church can't be involved, I'm sorry. I have too many biblical illustrations. Did Daniel protest? Yes. Did the 3 Hebrew boys protest? Did Moses protest? Yes.
Slightly.
Yeah.
At least 10 times.
Yeah. And they want to, yeah, I could go on.
Yes.
The agenda, was my wife says, the price of the agenda has cost many millions, perhaps billions of people's jobs, lives, health, family. Should she come on the show?
Yes, Lori.
We need a
You
bigger
come.
table, but yes.
We do need a bigger table. Yeah. Well, maybe she'll do the
So-
radio with us. Yeah.
So then we
So last night.
Yes. So and last night there was a thing last night. So we were talking about something.
Yeah.
I failed to mention Amber, who is also doing great work, generating positive work out
And
of
you're
our
just
youth.
sharing with the people
Yes.
that
Okay.
that came to the meeting last night. Yes.
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 So but we have other people, and we need to be honest with each other. Okay. And sometimes you really need the cleansing fire of the truth.
Yep.
Okay. So like the friend you had in high school, when you told him you wanted to be an astronaut, and he was like, dude, you're
Not
afraid of
gonna
heights.
happen. You're not
You
good
got
at science.
You can't do the science, you know.
Yeah.
So there's somebody out there who's been really honest with you, and we need to be honest with our candidates as well, with
Okay.
the people who want to lead us,
Yeah.
because we need them to be honest with
That's
us,
true.
Yeah.
and we need to be honest with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
true.
I agree.
All right, so
Okay.
we're not going to talk about Stan. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
There are lots of people out there, okay, who are big fans of people, but they don't know their history.
Yep.
All right. And so, for example, Brandon Merritt does stuff on TikTok.
Oh, I didn't know
I've
that.
never seen it on TikTok because I don't have it.
I don't have
It's-
TikTok either.
It's
Do you have
Chinese
TikTok?
spyware, but
I don't either.
that's another thing too. It's another conversation. But his whole message was basically to push the power down to people. All right. But he was a little Joel Osteen for me.
I like Joel Steen.
It's a style and
Okay.
presentation thing.
It's different. All
Okay.
right.
All right. He
Yeah, but,
he
you know,
declared himself to be the
His
most
dad
humble
was
guy.
awesome.
Okay. Yes.
No, his dad was.
I'm, you know, as people know me, I don't actually, hesitate sometimes to say things. So if you don't get the Joel Osteen reference, it's the way he was dressed.
Yeah.
Okay, and the clothes he was wearing. So that's fine. Bud Pierce is a great hometown guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a lot of good work. He creates to be a great doctor.
Yep, that's what we hear.
Everybody loves him.
Doesn't mean that
I
he'll.
don't think he has the fire to be governor.
Yep. I mean, he could
Okay.
be a good person, like someone said last night. You could be a
He
good
actually
person
talked about last night talking to Ted Wheeler and Mike Schmidt, who's the DA up in Portland,
Fire
and other folks, and convincing them in a closed door session that they should be following the law.
No.
And I just don't see that ever working as
No.
as
No,
a
that's
solution.
politics as usual, and it's
Yes.
never going to result in anything
Yeah.
because anything that's behind a closed door, it has to do with striking a deal of scratching my back, I'll scratch your back, and then there's a compromise.
And we
that
need the
doesn't
light.
change anything.
Yep.
Everything has to be
And
brought to the
everything
light.
from here on out, everything has to be in front of everybody.
Yep.
Yes. Completely agree.
So
Fire
there-
them all.
Fire them all. All right. Reed Christensen talked. He had a lot of great things to say. He had the best line of the night. It's still a mail order president, no matter how you cut it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
All right.
That should be a T-shirt.
I really liked him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I liked
It
him
should,
too.
it should have Joe Biden popping out of an Amazon box.
Yes, exactly. Well, I don't know. Amazon
circus
generally
music.
I am your
delivers.
president.
With circus music.
The little,
Yay! Here we are, mail order president. It's
I
awesome.
want somebody to make me that.
Yeah.
A Joe Biden pop up.
Oh my
Oh, there we
gosh.
go.
If I had
right,
that, I
Joel.
would put it on
Quick,
the show
internet,
and I
get
would
to
do
it.
it.
Get on that internet.
Somebody
All
do
right.
that, you'd make a lot of money.
Okay.
It's true.
All right, so-
and put "Let's Go Brandon" on the side of it.
Yeah, a couple little let's go Brandon sticker, you know.
You could have the little music playing that.
Yeah, yeah. Can we get a
Someone said,
FBF sticker on it
Julian
too?
says, I
Get
will
that
make
angle
it.
right
there you
there.
go.
There you go.
Okay, Julian, you
All
make
right,
that,
make
and
that.
I'll promote it for you.
Excellent.
And then you
Yes.
just support the church at 10%.
So I think we. I love it. I talked to him afterwards.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. The only complaint is the complaint that you hear a lot of times when guys talk about, I have a 28-point plan and here's point 14.
He's a teacher.
Okay.
He's
So
a teacher.
it is be more conversational.
Who are we talking about right now?
Reed Christensen.
Okay,
It was
Reed,
a little
Reed,
bit
yeah.
for me. It was a little bit too pre-programmed.
I haven't done any research on him. So what is his background? He is a teacher?
No, he has a teaching gift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be more pragmatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very cut and dry
Okay.
kind of presentation. So it needs to go towards the Mark Thielman presentation a little looser. So he's more conversational, but not as far as Mark has gone because if the debate last night had a class clown, it
Wasn't a
Mark.
debate, by the way. It was a service.
It was a service. You're right. The service had a class clown. It was Mark. Okay. And we love Mark. He's a great guy. All right. But not everything is a joke. Okay. And now I'm going to go on my rant.
Well, I thought Brandon made more jokes than Mark. That was
Yeah,
just me.
except for Brandon's didn't land.
Yeah, okay, true.
Well, they did. I'm going to tell you right now. They did with a certain amount of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They yes.
So we know how to pray. So we know how better to pray for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like I was praying when I prayed at the end, what I was saying is God, if each person just yields to do what they believe God has called them to do,
Yeah.
then people will make a vote off that because God's going to put it on the hearts of people to be able to vote.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what the outcome is as long as everybody gathers around to make sure that this is successful.
So we're going to talk about Stan again because Stan's best point last night was that we need to come together after the primary.
That's correct.
Okay. Because this is not about, all of these, everyone who was there last night deserves, to be commended
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
to be,
for sure.
and to be supported. But yes, if we go into the general election the way the last general election had, with a lot of infighting and
Yes.
backstabbing and carrying on and name calling.
Yep.
Okay, it will be very disunited, very fractured.
Yep.
Okay, and that's not going to go well,
No.
as we know, because to pull out a little bit, we have three major candidates. We'll have a Democrat candidate, we'll have a Republican candidate, and then we have the Betsy. Okay, and Betsy Johnson is giving us the as conservatives, as Christians, as Republicans, as however you want to describe it, an opportunity, because in order for Betsy to win, she needs a milquetoast moderate Republican.
Yep.
And the way that a milquetoast moderate Republican does that, supports Betsy Johnson, is because then people see no difference between her
Yep.
and that milquetoast moderate,
Yep.
at which point they either vote for her, or if they're, the more right conservatives types, they stay home. Okay, and that suppresses the vote. Nothing suppresses the conservative vote more than a milquetoast moderate Republican.
Amen. It's the
All right.
truth. It's the truth.
So
don't be
in-
milquetoast.
So don't be milquetoast.
But that's
be
just
bold.
in conservative general as a whole.
Yes.
I feel is that, and my experience and what I'm observing is there's just a lot of soft conservatives, and there isn't the taking the hard stance, because there is so much care about social status, who you know, you don't want your name to be tarnished, instead of really standing for on your convictions and morals and what is right. There's so many soft conservatives.
Well, in 25, 30 years ago, okay, if you were running for office, you did it by appealing to as many people as you could, and essentially making it the least amount of enemies and being as non-confrontational as possible. Okay, and a lot of those people are the mentors of the current crop that we have right now, or they're still in office. Okay, and what worked 25 years ago, all right, is no longer going to work.
Right.
All
That's
right.
how we got here.
Okay. Not to talk about the tea guy, but he was not milquetoast. Okay. There are many policies that he had that I disagreed with. All right. But he was a fighter.
Yep.
Okay. And to have a fighter in office, because look, the entire organization of the state apparatus, if you will, is not going to be on our side, no matter who is
Right.
governor.
That's what I was.
So you're
that's
going
what I
to
was trying
have
say.
to
That's why I
fire
said,
people.
Yep.
Yes.
You're going to have to make people uncomfortable.
You have to be okay
You're
with
gonna
not
have
being
to-
liked.
You're not going to be liked.
No. Yep.
You're going to get horrible press the
Yep.
whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's going to be there might even Mike Schmidt might investigate you. Okay. All right. All kinds of things might be happening to you, and you're going to have a spine of steel
Yes.
in order to withstand the attacks, and you're also going to need the support of us.
Yep.
So you're going to have to be honest with us.
Yep.
We're going to be honest with you. Okay. And we're going to keep the fights in the family, but we're not going to shy away from issues.
Yes.
That's why I was saying last night that due respect to to who we had there last night. I was saying it comes down to this, that it doesn't matter who gets up there if there's not a level of morality. We're talking about being transparent.
Yes.
If you have morals, you're transparent because you have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And so there has to be a level of morality that comes in, and that's all of us as a state have got to start saying, we've got to start determining what is right and wrong. Even if I don't, okay, so I'll just use marijuana, right?
Yep.
Legalizing marijuana. You're saying, well, I think we should do it. Well, let's look at the overall picture. Whether I agree or disagree, is it something that is good for our children?
The answer
Not
is
just for
no.
me, for our children.
yeah.
Because that's what we're telling them. We're telling them drug addiction is okay.
Yep.
Yep.
And so now I have got to say, morally, even though I think it's okay to have it legalized, but because morally I can't put that onto my children, I can't have it.
Yep.
If you don't want your children to be doing it,
Right.
don't legalize it.
Then don't legalize it. And that's
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to get. The same thing with gambling, the same thing with any kind of addiction, any kind of those things. And so we talk about how to deal with, only one person actually addressed sex trafficking
Yes.
and human trafficking. Only one.
Yep.
And it was linked in with abortion. And that is the absolute truth. The reason there's legalized abortion is because there is sex trafficking. Sex trafficking and abortion go hand in hand.
If you value life, you value life.
And that is correct. But
All
beyond
life.
that, those that are in the sex trafficking, those that are being prostituted, when they get pregnant,
Yes.
to keep the money flowing, they have to have
an abortion. Yep.
And you remove that, you make it so that it comes back to the state, you know. And by the way, I can't remember who said this, but you can't be both pro-life and pro-choice. Sorry.
That's a tough one.
Can't be both.
Yes.
Sorry, you gotta
that was
make a
Mr.
choice.
Hess.
You got to make a choice. You got to choose.
Yeah, it's not a medical procedure.
No.
That's completely disconnected from everything
I
else.
have a belief that every politician that believes in abortion should have to participate in one.
That would shut it down in a hurry.
And you have to physically,
If you haven't seen the Kermit Gosnell film done,
you have to physically
you need to.
be there to take that child's life.
Yep.
You.
Yep.
So I believe that. I believe that every one of them that says I am for it should have to participate in it.
Well, I know I can't do it.
I wouldn't do it. I don't
Wait
want.
a second.
I had
saw
I had
on Google that men can get pregnant.
No, that's stupid.
I know.
Yeah,
Anyways,
no.
we can
no,
keep on going
that's
on.
just the emoji for dad bod.
We're going to have to
Yeah.
wind this up because of time.
So we'll go very quick.
Yes.
So we didn't talk about Bridget, we didn't talk about Carrie, and we didn't talk a lot about Mark. I'm going to mention a couple of things. I love all of them. They're great people. And here comes the but. Okay. Bridget's brought a lot of stuff from the DC area, and she's brought a lot of the outside Oregon. So I'm concerned about how well she is actually attached to Oregon. All right. But she's, as she has said, and everything I've seen and read from her, she is a rock solid conservative and an excellent candidate. And she would take Tina Kotek to the woodshed. All right. Carrie Mcquiskin, okay, is the person who organized the lawsuit, the first and most successful lawsuit against Kate Brown and her overreaches in the first mandate and mask mandates that came out. All right, she has proven that she can lead a city. She has proven that she can organize people, and she has proven that she can fundraise at the grassroots level. She has by far the most fundraising and donations from small donators of people in Oregon, from inside Oregon as well. She's also conservative and pro-life and all and things. She's a rock star.
Yeah.
Mark has done great things in terms of keeping the Alcia school district functioning through this process of the COVID pandemic. Okay. My problem with Mark is that it predates COVID. He wrote the Student Success Act. Well, so when he talks about working with the legislature, this is what he's primarily referring to. Part of the Student Success Act was the commercial activities tax. It's the largest, most regressive small business tax in the history of Oregon, probably at the state level in the history of the country. There's only one other state that has a tax like it at all, and that's Ohio. Okay. And that's only on business activity that happens within Ohio. The Oregon tax is based on all business activities and gross receipts. So what that means, if you do $1 million worth of business or anywhere with anyone, and your business is based in Oregon, you owe $57,000 in taxes. That's the rate at which it works. For myself, this personally affected me. I was running a small business that I had to shut down in the beginning of 2020 because I was doing in gross receipts about $1.5 million a year. This would have hit me with about $90,000 in taxes, and I only made 60. So I would have been 30 grand in the hole every single year based on the cat tax. So
the
as
cat
a
tax
result,
the cat tax needs to go. I don't know
I shut
anybody.
it down.
I don't know anybody that actually said that we got to get rid of it.
okay.
Yeah,
There was a
one.
couple that
There was a
mentioned it,
couple
and
that
I'm
said it.
skipping in my brain at the moment.
Yeah.
But the point is if you want to run to be the Republican nominee,
Bridget actually did say it.
Yes.
I remember
Yeah, she
Angela's
mentioned it.
clapping.
And someone else did too, and I can't remember who.
No,
But if
someone
you
said-
want- don't
someone
be the
said that
guy
they
who's
would
raising
look. They would
taxes.
look into getting rid of it, but they didn't say
Yes.
they would get rid of it.
Yes.
Looking into it,
It
doesn't
is-
mean you're getting rid of it.
It is one of those things that is not obvious, and its impact has been hidden by COVID. So a lot of businesses were just, everybody was forced to shut down, and so economic activity kind of died off, and everything happened there, and businesses went away. But based on what Bi-Mart said and their pharmacy, that's the specific reason why Bi-Mart closed their pharmacies. All right, because they buy something and then they sell it, and it is the process of that product passing through their business that generates the gross receipts numbers, and the volume that they were doing things at would have caused, and the margin of doing generic only pharmaceuticals as Bi-Mart was doing is so small that they would have made no money whatsoever.
Yeah. So you know, you remember Costco when they used to roast beans?
Yes.
You
I
know
didn't
what?
know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just roast coffee beans right there, and you can get them all roasted, and
Yep.
and you can get it fresh out of the roaster.
Yeah.
In the bag, take it home.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
You know why they got rid of it in Oregon? Because of the EPA laws that were passed here in Oregon, to where they said that it was putting out too much emission, and the cost was overwhelming, so they got rid of all of it.
Yeah, because they were actually running a gas-fired roaster.
Yeah, and I
There's one up in Washington still.
yeah,
By the
because
way, in Battleground.
but because of Oregon's laws on climate change.
Yeah, that's a small thing. There's a bill in the legislature right now to outlaw diesel.
Yeah, well, yes, there is.
Yeah. Where's that at? Because I opposed it. It was last week.
It passed out of committee.
Yeah.
Oh, it passed out of committee.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll go to a floor vote.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll pass.
It'll pass because they want all electric, and we need
Okay.
we need a governor to go in there and just go. This
So
is
how many convoys could we have to protest in D.C. if we all had electric vehicles? The answer is 0.
Yeah.
well, we couldn't do the grid cannot handle electric vehicles. Just so you know, and we
Yeah.
already proved it that the electric vehicle.
California's proving it every day.
Yeah, the electric vehicle uses more oil than an actual conventional car.
Yep.
Well, and then it'll be all chipped, and they can shut it down whenever they want.
The 2025
Horses.
federal there's a federal law that all cars made after 2025 needs a kill switch.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's in law right
Yeah.
now. It
Wow.
exists.
Okay.
So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to close this up here because we need to. I'm going to close in a scripture here, and that has to do with Exodus 18:21. I read it last night. Moreover, look for able men and women for all the people. When I talk about men, it's mankind, by the way. So I'm just going to remove that because I hate having to do that. It's just mankind, by the way, just so you know. All right. Look for able men for all the people, men who fear God, who are trustworthy and hate a bribe. In other words, hate a governor that's going to take money from Moderna, Pfizer, Soros,
Yep.
Soros's children,
Yep.
and anybody
Belinda
else.
Gates.
Yeah,
Union
Gates,
Caps.
Gates crowd.
Clinton Foundation.
Clinton.
And place such men over the people as chiefs of thousands, of 50s, and of tens. In other words, find somebody that has integrity and you place them as the leader. Not because you just agree with their agenda. It isn't about agreeing with everything.
Right.
Yep.
It's about the morality of the person. Is the person willing to take a stand for the betterment? And you say, well, that's what Governor Brown did. She did it for the betterment. Really?
How are things better?
How are things better?
Specifically better.
And you
They're
said
not.
to the candidates last night, it's about the heart.
It is.
Yep.
That that's what it's about.
It's about a heart issue
Yep.
and having a conviction about things.
Yep.
I'm not going to always, we're never going to agree with everything. But also, we need to make it so that our people are not being bullied and manipulated and controlled and discriminated against because you say,
Coerced.
well, coerced.
Yeah, however you say it,
Yeah.
coerced.
Yeah.
Yes. I love the hypocrisy of the schools and the anti-bullying campaign. Where are all those signs now? Okay?
Yep,
When you force
discriminating.
children
Well, they
outside
turned into a
into
rainbow
the
flag.
cold.
Yeah.
They turned
Okay.
into a rainbow flag.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
well,
and
they don't get
Silverton,
God's covenant
we
with
had
us.
a
We do.
protest in last July. It was over
Mm-hmm.
400 or 500 people, and it was put on by the organizer was a 17-year-old kid, and it was after the George Floyd
Yeah.
protest.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor came and he spoke, and it was all okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then look at what happened with ours. You know, just, what? Not even
You
50
terrorist,
people.
you.
I know. Yeah.
You
But-
terrorized me with that cheesecake. It goes straight to the, Jesus, horrible.
I know. Makai's like, babe, we should have had cheesecake there last night. I said, don't tell me that. That stresses me out. I don't want to think about that.
Tell him to do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
Mackay, make cheesecake.
Yeah.
We
Get to it.
love you. We're so thankful for every one of you. Now, I'm going to give you some announcements of things that are coming up before we actually end here. Of course, we have Sunday morning service here.
Yes.
And we, encourage you to come, and be involved in that. God's on
blessed.
the move. Good things are going on in
Yep.
that. And then as far
What you
as
see is what you get all the time.
what you see is what you get.
Yep.
Somebody last night, they go, well, this is a very long church service. I go, no, this is actually our normal church service.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't put a hold on the Holy Ghost. We let God do what He
That's
wants to
right.
do.
That's
You
the
can leave
best.
and show up whenever you want, but if you go out early, someone's going to come out and ask if they can pray for you.
Or if you get here late,
So,
you're in the
and
front
no one's
row.
and listen, we're not. If you get here late, you get put in the front
That's
row.
okay. Front row. Been there.
Yeah, I'm putting you. You're gonna start. I'm gonna put you up front row anyways.
Yeah.
It's good for you, and your kids like it.
Yeah, my kids
Mm-hmm.
did like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all three of them,
Yeah, all three of them.
All three of them.
including Mackay.
Yes.
We love you, Mackay.
Yeah. So, anyways, we have coming up the 26th.
Yep. In Silverton.
In Silverton, the Let Freedom March, and then we're going to be going to Woodburn. And despite what people have to say, we're going to end up going to Portland because they told me, they said, "Oh, they're too afraid to come to Portland."
Yeah.
Afraid of.
I'm just going to
Afraid
tell
of
you right
what?
now. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of Portland. I'm not afraid of Antifa. I'm not afraid of any BLM or anybody else. Actually, I invite them to come.
Those are words of watch me.
Yeah.
Watch us.
I don't hate
We'll be
people.
there.
I love people. And the whole thing
Yep.
is we're not one of our rallies that we have done have we burned anything?
No.
Have we smashed glass or windows or provoked anger or any of those things?
Children are feeling
Children
safe there.
The children feel safe
Yep.
there. And for those of you that believe that we hire
Can we have
people
bouncy houses?
No, those are bad.
I want
Those are really bad.
I want the bouncy house revolution.
We
You
might
have
end
to have
up
a
with
lot of.
bouncy houses.
You have
Yeah.
to have a lot
And then
of
also,
hand
you
sanitizer.
know what's happening? You know what's happening the day before our event on that Friday? You know what's
Yes.
happening? The what used to be Timber Unity,
Yeah.
is going to be doing something at the Capitol also.
Oh, that's on March 18th.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. March
So
18th.
February
Yep.
26th is the Freedom Rally in Silverton,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
what do we have?
Anyways, there's just a lot of things that are going on. I'm thankful for people taking a stand. You know, I have a different view of the trucks coming in and locking everything down. I have a different view. Before we go,
Yeah,
I-
I know. You told me your view.
I think
like this idea.
think that they should just stay home for 2 weeks and not ship anything.
Yep.
Toilet paper now.
Yeah. Right.
I don't have to. I use a
Stock
bidet.
up. TMI.
Why is that? You say you use toilet paper. Why do you put faith in a micro thin piece of paper to wipe your rear end with? I don't have to touch anything except for a button, and it's a remote control. And I come away
This is
squeaky,
TMI.
TMI.
squeaky clean every time.
Oh
It's fantastic.
Squeaky clean.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
I have one in my office.
Okay.
The next church,
All right.
listen, when we have a church building, one of the stalls will have that in it. Because I'm telling you right now, it's fantastic.
Can it have a heated seat too?
Yes.
We need to get some of those Japanese toilets with
both
like
of
the
mine.
87 buttons.
Yes. That's what I have. Have you not been in my? That's what I've got.
No, I haven't.
It's pretty fancy.
No.
Yeah, I
fantastic.
didn't try it. I didn't know what
Heated
button.
seat. The whole. I've got instructions there for you.
Instru-
I
Yeah.
have instructions
Those
on the
things
wall
need
on how to
those
use
things
it.
need a manual, like
Anyways.
I'm afraid I'll.
So
press
then
the
we also
wrong
have what
button.
else
Oh,
do we
yeah,
have
you
coming
will.
up?
It'll-
What else do we
yeah.
have going on?
Oh,
we-
I know.
Yeah.
We have the constitutional classes, the Liberty
Wednesday night,
First
yeah.
Society Wednesday nights.
Wednesday night.
Every Wednesday night at 7.
Yep.
Yep.
7.
And so the other thing is, we are doing the Reawakening tour.
Yes.
We're hosting it, 1st and 2nd, in an undisclosed
April
location.
1st and 2nd. Yes.
April 1st and 2nd, undisclosed location.
Yes. When
And
will we
everybody
find
wants to
out?
know. And then as soon as I say that, people go, "But where is it?" I just said
Undisclosed.
undisclosed.
But is it
somewhere
kind of
that's
like
not
that thing where they
disclosed.
find out like a week before?
They're going to find out beforehand. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So it is going to be in Salem,
Yep.
and we are hosting it.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Just
there
so
will
you
be
know.
cheesecake there.
Cheesecake
And there'll be coffee.
and coffee.
I can do Pastor Lou.
So, anyways,
thumbs are broken.
so I have been authorized to say that. So, undisclosed location in Salem, April 1st and 2nd. What do you think, Kendra?
Tickets are
is
available now.
awesome.
Tickets are available now. Go online, get the tickets.
Go to yeah.
Grandfather's getting
Yep.
his ticket now.
And
Yay.
despite the misinformation, I might add, tickets are not $250 each.
No.
Okay, they are donation.
You can actually call up and say, I,
I did
can't
not
do
know this.
this.
Just
You can
saying.
call up and say,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot
So
afford
we
the 250.
scholarshiped a lot of you.
No, that's how that works.
Yeah,
We did.
Good
And
job.
thank you for that because that helped me. Because
Yep.
we paid quite
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah, you actually help other people to come
Yeah.
by
We did.
helping cover the cost of everything.
More
And
more
so-
cheesecake.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
So, anyways,
That's okay. Just
Yeah.
gonna sell a lot of cheesecake. that
Yeah,
weekend.
it's awesome. It's,
Yeah, it's gonna be a
it's
great
gonna be
weekend.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
Looking
fun
forward
weekend.
It's gonna and it's happening at the Capitol. I mean, not at the Capitol, but Salem.
It is not
The
happening at
No,
the
it's
Capitol.
not
Oregon.
happening at the
Yes.
Capitol, but the capital
Not at the
city
Capitol.
of Oregon.
Jen did not give away the
Yeah.
location.
No, I did not. It is not happening at the Capitol, but the capital city, which is just really awesome for
Absolutely.
this to happen here.
So, anyways, that's going to be 1st and 2nd, and then undisclosed. Oh, we have a bot.
Yes.
What's a bot?
Well, we got the Russian bot going on.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means that we've been
Don't click
pushed.
on the button. I
We've
don't
been
believe
pushed.
it.
Don't. It's this one right here.
Does it come towards
See,
the
and
end of the-
Cyrillic
They
writing
do,
and stuff.
and then
Learning.
and then following
show up.
after, we have to continue to do it.
That's interesting.
It makes me happy because at least that means that people don't like us.
I've had people look at my website from China. I screenshot it because I can see the location, and when people look up beloved cheesecakes, and I'm like, oh, China? Wow.
Yeah, just so you know, Brewster, we were having problems with all of this stuff. Where online details of the Silverton rally for February 26th? It's actually on our website.
And Beloved
And
Cheesecakes.
Beloved Cheesecake.
Yeah, you can go to my Facebook
Where's it
or
at? Where's it
Instagram.
at again?
Yep.
It is. I can send it to you too, Christina.
Yeah, it's going to be at the old
812.
Maggie something Ferguson. What is that? So old.
No, it's 812 McLean Street
Yeah.
in Silverton. I'll send it to you, Christina.
Okay.
And then it was the Santiam tractor place back in
Yeah,
the day.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
Anti-Am Tractor Place.
Sandy M.
But
Tractor.
I'll have it on Beloved Cheesecakes, Facebook, and Instagram, and then we've been sharing it all over.
Yeah. So get as many people as you can. People have been saying,
Yes.
"How can I help?" Show up.
That's right.
You just show up and you become part of this, and you say, "Well, I'm afraid of what might happen." Nothing's going to happen because we have horses.
And one of the reasons why it's so important in
Yeah.
Silverton
So why?
is, for me, if you know Beloved Cheesecakes, I was the only business in Silverton that didn't comply this whole time, and not very well loved.
Yes, you
I
are. You are
am,
very-
but
you are
I
very
am
well
for-
loved.
Very loved.
But
yeah.
in
By certain
Silverton,
people.
it's kind of a mini Portland, and they don't really enjoy their freedoms, and hopefully that's going to change, and God's
We are
going
going
to
to change it.
Yes.
God is going to move. We're going to go through the streets. We got horses that are going to be carrying American flags,
Yes.
and most likely an eagle will fly over.
Yes, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Well,
that's-
every rally so far we've
Except
had
for
an eagle.
one. Pastor Andrew had to bring it up that one of them had a hawk.
Okay.
Still
Well,
cool.
Eagle was tired that day,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he sent his brother.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
And we're going to have food carts and booths and it's going to be and we're going to have beautiful weather. I'm
Yeah,
praying
amen.
for great weather. We've
I can tell
had
you.
good weather.
Oh, yeah. We've
everyone.
always
No,
had
we
good
will
weather.
always have good weather because God is on our side.
Yeah.
He favors his children
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So-
every
I
time.
prefer to be on his side, but
Yes.
Yeah, right.
I'd rather have the favor of God than the accolades of the devil.
Amen.
Yep.
Amen. Yeah.
That's a good. You're just on that button right over there, aren't you?
Whenever you're ready.
Kendra's like,
All
are we
right.
done yet?
Are y'all
we
good?
done yet?
We're good.
Yep.
All
We're
right.
good.
Well, we love
we're
you,
done.
and we'll
Yes.
see you
Love you guys.
this
Love
weekend.
all of
Love
you.
Bye.